Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense is because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues. And we try to find logical solutions. Um, Not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to let everybody know that right now we're currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Um, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have subscribed to the channel. Um, I just want, and also I want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices. So I'm going to ask you that you do the following. If you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do prepare any content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. Um, Now, before we get into the topic, I just want to let everybody know that tomorrow I will be doing a stream. I will have my weekly episode of Open Discussion. It will air at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, for the benefit of those who are not familiar, what I do is I discuss random topics. I also ask the audience if there's anything that they wish me to discuss, and we will have it on a discussion. So, in a few minutes, I will drop the link, and anyone is more than welcome to enter a comment. Let me just let everybody know that the subscriber mode is currently on. Meaning, in order for you to enter a comment, and you're not a subscriber, you must subscribe to the channel. So, and it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. So, also, I want to let everybody know that this Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a stream completely in Spanish. And the topic will be, of course, in Spanish, who are more faithful, males or females? Let me just say a few words in Spanish. Este domingo, a partir de las 7 de la noche, vamos a tener esta programación completamente en español. Y la tema para el día sería cuáles son los más fieles, los hombres o las mujeres. So we're going to have a discussion about that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link if anyone wishes to jump. If I can just give me a moment. Okay. So the topic for tonight is how to deal with angry people. And anybody who works in any type of environment dealing with the public, they can tell you that at times you're going to deal with people who are going to be angry with you for multiple reasons. Some can't be justified, Others, they just want to vent and scream and what have you. So we will have a discussion how to deal with those type of individuals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share something that happened to me years ago. Okay, I was conduct. We conducted a home visit um, regarding someone that was applying for assistance. And when we do home visits, we go in pairs. So we do a home visit, and then we start to answer the questions we need to ask. And then all of a sudden, my coworker, which was a supervisor, actually started to get into an argument with the client in the client's home, which is never a good thing because you do not know who you are dealing with, particularly when you're in their residence. Fortunately, I was able to de-escalate the situation by simply saying, it's a difficult situation. We understand that. We're not trying to make things any worse. We're just trying to help you in one part of your process in order to obtain services. So I was able to calm the person down, which is very important. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to I'm going to read an article. Actually, the article comes from a source called Mind Tools. Okay, and the article is dealing with angry people learning how to diffuse tense situations. Okay, anger is an asset that can do more harm to the vessel which it is stored than anything on which it is poured. Now, this was a quote by an American writer, Mark Twain. Okay. How many times have you had to deal with an angry person? Perhaps a customer was unhappy with poor delivery. A colleague was annoyed because he was given a project they wanted, or a supplier was upset because of a late payment. It is easy to get flustered or upset when you're confronted with an angry person. And if you don't know how to respond, you can easily make the situation worse. However, when you respond calmly and with empathy, you can stay in control and you can diffuse the situation in a professional, courteous manner. Way. In this article, we'll look at several strategies that you can use to deal with angry people. Okay. Why how to deal with angry people matters. It's important to know how to deal with angry people for a number of reasons. Firstly, you can calm them down so that they don't take any action that harms you or others, either physically or emotionally. In doing this, you can break the emotional spirals of escalation that can cause so much harm, and you can move forward solving the underlying problems that have caused the anger. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm sorry, just. Secondly, if you respond angrily to someone else's anger, you can easily end up seen as the aggressor yourself. This is a disastrous in a customer facing role. Thirdly, by responding well to angry people, you can build a positive relationship with them and experience less stress and unhappiness as a result of dealing with them. Finally, when you respond calmly to angry episode, you set a good example for others. Your behavior can inspire the people around you, which can transform a team's ability to deal with anger. So now we're going to be talking about the types of anger. Excuse me. We all know what normal anger looks like. However, people can sometimes suppress the visible signs of anger but sees with the theory under the surface. In these cases, anger can be expressed in quite simply passive aggressive ways. Passive aggressive anger is common in the workplace, and signs of it include the following: pretending not to hear or understand requests, avoiding involvement or acting distantly, spreading gossip or rumors or telling hurtful jokes to retaliate, obsessing, sulking or withdrawing, engaging in self defeating behaviors or setting others up for failure, behaving secretly, ignoring others, demonstrating an angry smile. Now, I never heard of an angry smile. I wonder what that means. Be alert to passive aggressive behavior and use these same strategies listed below to help deal with it. Now we're going to be talking about some strategies. It is useful to know how to calm angry people down. When you can diffuse someone's anger, it can enhance your professional reputation and help people who struggle to manage their emotions. Employ the strategies below. Okay? I see there's currently 2 people watching the stream. Okay? Perhaps other people will catch it on the playback. Stay safe and involve others. If you feel threatened by an angry person, trust your judgment. Leave the room immediately if you feel unsafe or if you're too upset to resolve the situation on your own. Ask your boss or a trusted colleague to work with you to resolve the situation. It might also be appropriate to report the incident, especially if the person is completely under control and you feel there's a risk of violence. Don't respond with anger. It's very natural to get upset when angry people confront you, regardless whether their anger is justified. You feel under attack and your body floods with fight or flight hormones, which can lead you to become angry yourself. Do your best to respond calmly and intelligently when you face angry people. Learn how to manage your emotions and practice deep breathing so that you can stay relaxed during tense interaction. If you feel yourself getting upset, politely take a break from the conversation and go for a walk to calm down. The next thing, distance yourself emotionally. Sometimes another person's anger has nothing to do with you. When you recognize this, it can have a major influence on how you cope with the situation. A 2012 study found that when people understood that they didn't cause another person's anger, they weren't upset by the situation. Perhaps a team member received some bad news and are taking their negative feelings out on you. Perhaps they feel overwhelmed by the workload or personal life, or perhaps the person is subconsciously using anger to make themselves feel better. If you can recognize this, you can distance yourself from the anger emotionally, and you'll find it much easier to cope with. At times, however, you may be the cause of another person's anger. It's important to take it's important to take responsibility for your actions. Don't distance yourself. One thing that I am a firm believer in, okay, it's not proper English, but I think it does expresses the point very well, which is accountability. When you mess up, fess up. In other words, you take accountability for the mistakes that you make. You try to learn from your errors, and then you strive to do better and not to repeat the same mistake again. Okay. Excuse me. Identify the cause. Next, you need to determine why the person you're dealing with feels angry. Use effective question techniques or the 5 whys method to get to the root cause of their anger. Encourage them to explain why they feel angry. Don't interrupt them while they speak and keep asking questions until they have fully explained themselves. Try to see things from their perspective as they express their feelings. Use active listening so that you can really listen to what they say. When it's your turn to talk, speak slowly and calmly, lower your vocal tone, and use non threatening body language. This will often encourage others to calm down. Try not to use generic statements such as, I understand how you feel, or that sounds really frustrating. Instead, use specific, clear statements that rephrase what the other person has said. Don't overdo this or do it in a thoughtless, formalic way. It's also important to communicate with empathy. For example, if your colleague says, I needed that report last week and you've been ignoring me, you could say, so you feel that I neglected you when you needed the information from me. Is that right? Demonstrate an interest in resolving the situation and try not to judge the other person's behavior. This shows respect. Think about the last time you felt angry and remember how you wanted to be treated in the situation. Pursue a solution and ideally apologize. Okay? Again, accountability. Once you have understood the situation, try to avoid making excuses to defend your actions or those of your team or organization. Defensive, Defensiveness can make others feel angrier than they are already. Instead, ask what you can do to resolve the situation and make things right. Okay, interesting. Another option is okay, distract them. One way to diffuse a person's anger is to focus their attention on something else. One 1998 study found that rumination increased feelings of anger while distraction can decrease them. You can do this with laughter if it's appropriate. It's impossible to laugh and be angry at the same time. A funny joke, an online video, or an amusing blog post can take someone's mind off their anger. People who experience intense levels of anger might be unwilling or unable to change the subject. However, you may annoy them further if you try to get them to focus on something else. This strategy works best for people who are only moderately cross. Help them control their anger. I wonder how that's done. Angry outbursts from someone on your team can affect the whole group's productivity and morale. Practice diffusing anger. If you work in an emotionally demanding role, chances are that you have to deal with angry people regularly. This is emotional labor and can be particularly draining, especially when people are not equipped to handle these situations. Use role playing so that team members can practice dealing with angry and upset customers. They also benefit from developing emotional intelligence, good communication skills, and assertiveness. Okay. Here's an interesting topic. Communicate how you feel. Earlier, we talked about accountability. Now we're going to talk about communication. You may work or live with a person who frequently experiences angry outbursts. If so, once the anger has passed, it's important to communicate how this person's anger makes you feel. Try to avoid their accusatory you statements, which can make the other person angry and defensive. For example, if you say you upset the rest of the team when you yell and scream during meetings to someone, they're likely to feel angry. Instead, be respectful but assertive with the other person and use the I statements to communicate how you feel. For example, you might try, I feel upset and frazzled when you yell and scream during meetings, and it makes it hard for the team to come up with good solutions. Okay. Now I'm going to read you some key points. Anger is a universal emotion, and no matter what you do, it's important to know how to deal with angry people calmly and assertively. Start by finding out the root cause of their anger by asking open ended questions. If this seems too daunting, you can introduce your team member to resources that will empower them to become more self aware. If you or your organization are at fault, apologize properly. But be careful of liability issues and work on finding a solution. Ask them what you can do to resolve the issue. Try not to get angry yourself, stay calm, speak slowly, and use non threatening body language. A calm, rational response can go a long way in calming and people down. Okay. And I see here we have someone. Okay. Good evening, Magic Mulata. Thank you very much for stopping by. Um, I just want to let everybody know that Magic Mulata has her own YouTube channel and she discusses many issues. Um, I consider her a very positive source, and what she tries to do discuss issues where, with the thing regarding resolving issues and reconciliation. So, what I'm going to ask everybody to do that if you have not done so, please subscribe to Magic Malala's channel and check out her content. Okay, and also, Magic, if you wish to um, join the panel, the link is there. If you're not able, I understand. Um, Also, you're more than welcome to enter additional comments in the chat. Let's see. Now, let me just give you my take regarding this article. As you can see here, it's very important that you remain calm when you're dealing with an angry person. Now, let's keep it 100. Um, the reality is, when someone is angry with you and yells at you, the first instinct is to yell back. However, if you do that, you're not able to to resolve the issue, and what you do is you make the situation worse. And I just want to acknowledge the fact that there's currently 4 people viewing the stream, and I just want to say thank you very much. Now, I'm going to share with you another article, and the source is from Psych Central, and it was reviewed by Dr. Kendra Kubala, who has a doctorate in psychology, and it was dated March the 21st of this year. Dealing with someone who is angry can be challenging, but there are ways to diffuse their anger and ease a tense situation. It's natural to feel angry sometimes. Many of us have developed strategies for working through anger when it creeps up. We know what may irk us and what works best to calm ourselves down. But when we find ourselves face to face with someone else's anger, how to act becomes less clear. What are we supposed to do? Understanding how to deal with an angry person can help you diffuse the situation and protect yourself from potentially aggressive volatility. Okay. Anger comes in many forms. While various terms are used to describe the type of anger experiences, most types fall under one of three categories. Okay. The first one is outward or external anger. This is expressed outwardly at a person or a thing, such as raising your voice or throwing something. Inward or internal anger. You express yourself toward you express towards yourself, and you may engage in self-isolation, negative self-talk, or even self-harming behaviors. Passive or passive aggressive anger. This refers to the indirect ways we express anger, such as making catty remarks or using sarcasm. Some specific types of anger can include deliberate anger, behavioral anger, addictive or habitual anger, moral, judgmental, or righteous anger, fear based anger, frustration based anger, volatile or sudden anger, chronic anger, manipulative anger, pain based anger, self abusive anger, and psychological anger. A 2015 study suggests that anger is most often triggered by, and here's the following: other people, a person's environment, psychological or physical distress, intrapersonal demands, environment, unknown causes. Now we're going to discuss how to recognize when you're dealing with an angry person. There are several ways that you can tell that someone is experiencing anger or aggression. They may express their feelings physically or show them in how they act or react. Physical signs of anger include sweating, pacing, clenched jaw, clenched fist, frowning or scowling, raised voice, trembling, or shaking. Popular behaviors can also signal anger, such as shouting or yelling, being snappy or quick to react, giving curt or short responses, displaying physical aggression, having something outburst, holding a grudge, using insults, expressing annoyance or irritability, making accusations, sulking or moping, showing intolerance, turning to violence, and hurting themselves or others. Now, what I'm going to do is, based on this article, I'm going to show you some tips how to deal with an angry person. When you're dealing with an angry person, it can be difficult to know how to react in a way that won't escalate the situation and make it worse. Here are some strategies you can try. Okay. Of course, we have to have a word of caution. These strategies may not work for everyone. If the person becomes violent or have been violent in the past, trying to diffuse a tense situation might make it worse. If things are escalating and you are afraid for your physical safety, there are ways to safely navigate this situation and keep yourself safe in the process. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do how to respond rather than react. When someone else's behavior is heightened, it can easily to jump to the defensive. We may quickly and perhaps harshly react rather than take a moment to consider our response. While it can be hard, listening, remaining calm, and keeping your replies measured can help you get through what can be a stressful situation. Try to avoid becoming angry or agitated during the interaction. Instead, try to respond with empathy and care. This will show the person that you hear what they're saying, understand their point of view, and reaffirm that their feelings are valid. Now, I'm going to share with you something that's very important, and sometimes it's hard to do, but it is necessary. Don't take it personally. Um, Let me just share with you. Actually, it happened today. I received an email from one fellow union rep complaining that the building management had sprayed pesticides and didn't let the management know and expected me to do everything as far as um, contacting the building management and then informing the other delegates and what have you. Well, what I did was I just simply calmly stated, well, you as a union rep, you have the same authority as I and every other union rep, which is to discuss this with the building management as far as trying to get to the situation, things of that nature, and that I'm in the process of trying to have what's called a quality of work life committee so we can discuss the issues. Um, the person decided to respond angrily with another email saying that I don't understand what's going on, etc., etc., etc. I just simply responded the following. You, as a union rep, you have a responsibility to advocate not just for the members on your floor, but for the entire building. I would suggest that you exercise your authority. Also, if you need assistance, reach out to the health and safety section of our union. Furthermore, I will not be having any further correspondence in this matter. She, in turn, decided to write some more frustrating emails, of which I decided, you know what? I'm not going to respond. I already state what needs to be said, and I already stated what needed to be done. And at one point, she went out and saying, I quit. Obviously, this union rep is in need of anger management and has crisis coping skills. Now, that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with the point, which is don't take it personally. Well, you may feel that you're receiving the brunt of someone's outburst, it may not even be about you. Anger can be triggered by a current situation or rooted in something else. The person's anger may result in something another person said earlier, a stressful presentation at work, or simply having a rough day. A 2012 study suggests that people are less upset by the situation when they know they're not the cause of someone else's anger. This can help you to remain calm and avoid becoming agitated the more easily handle the other person's behavior. I'm going to share with you another situation that happened years ago as a case manager dealing with elderly people in home care. As a new case manager, I inherited clientele from other case managers. And one case manager had an altercation with the client's daughter that nearly insulted to fisticuffs. So, so what I did, I had a discussion with the daughter, and I said the following: I see, okay, I've been told that you have some issues with the previous case manager. I just want you to know that you're no longer going to be dealing with a person. You're going to be dealing with me. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to make sure that your mother receives the services that she should receive. Also, you have a right to advocate for your mother, which is natural and it's very commendable. And you also have the right, if you feel in any way, shape, or form I'm not performing my functions properly, you have the right to voice your concerns to my supervisor. I never had one incident with the daughter. Why? Because I did not have any prejudgments. I simply stated my purpose, stated that I'm here to help you, help her mother, and that she does have recourses and options. Okay, so I was able to prevent a situation from getting worse. Now, the next thing, create distractions. A distraction can sometimes be exactly what's needed to stop someone in their anger tracks. Distracting someone to express anger or upset may interrupt their tirade and give them feelings a chance to pause. This allows them to step outside of their anger and potentially reflect on their behavior. Providing a way for the person to shift focus can allow them to shift their focus in dealing with anger rather than resting in it. When using distraction, trying to be mindful of interrupting the person or invalidating their feelings, this strategy is a way to help them reset and refocus, and it's not meant to make them feel though as their anger doesn't matter or isn't justified. Look for solutions. When someone's angry, you may feel the need to find a way to resolve what's causing them so much agitation. One way is to help is by offering solutions. Not sure how the best solve what's upsetting them? Don't be afraid to ask. Gently stop the person and ask them how they can help you feel less angry. Once you know what they need, you can work with them to develop positive and proactive solutions. This can also help ease their anger and create calm by shifting their attention from negative feelings to positive feelings. Okay. Set boundaries. Whether you are a person who feels deeply or takes a lot to rattle you, setting boundaries can be crucial to maintain mental and emotional balance. Before you're faced with managing someone else's feelings, try establishing your limits. You can do this by deciding what behaviors are too much to handle and understanding how to recognize the signs of aggression or danger. While only 10% of the anger experiences lead to aggression, it's crucial to remain safe. Knowing your boundaries and sticking to them will help you know when it's time to remove yourself from potentially harmful situations. If or when you feel threatened in any way, it may be time to leave. Now we're going to get into what not to say when someone is angry. And I'm sure all of us have made that mistake at one point or another. Okay. So I'm going to share with you what not to say. Certain things are sometimes better left unsaid. Consider avoiding the following when faced with someone who's angry. And these are some examples. Using accusatory statements. Try not to lay the blame on the person or use you statements such as you're being difficult or this is your fault. This is your fault. This can make them feel defensive, which can fuel their anger. Instead, try to use I statements to show them how your anger affects you, such as I want to help you or I feel scared. Okay. Ignoring or involuntary feelings. Anger is a natural emotion. By acknowledging how the person feels, you are validating their feelings and showing them you understand. Ignoring their feelings may only agitate them further. Getting angry or defensive. Responding in anger might simply make them more upset and leave you feeling angry. Instead, try to manage your emotions and remain calm. If you find yourself becoming agitated, consider excusing yourself from the situation and take a moment for yourself. So let me just give you my take of this article and the way I understand it. When dealing with someone who's angry, try to remain as calm as possible. Try to have some sort of an empathy with the person. Try not to be accusatory in language, and have solutions to whatever is their concerns. Um, and the fact of the matter is this: we're all being angry at times. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another article. Okay, I've been talking for about 45 minutes. Okay, if no one wishes to join the panel, that's understandable. Maybe people will just watch the stream on the replay. So now I'm going to read an article from Mind, and of course, how to cope with anger. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay. Um, Now, in here, it explains anger, giving practical suggestions for what you can do when you can go for support. It also includes the advice of friends and family. Okay. It can be very difficult when someone you care about is experiencing problems with anger, especially if sometimes they direct their anger towards you, others close to them, or themselves. We are all responsible for our own actions, and ultimately, it can help. Well, ultimately, it will be up to them to learn how to manage and express their anger appropriately. But there's still a lot of things you can do to help support them. Okay, so basically, it's going to be a repeat of some other points, but they're valid. Staying calm. Although you probably have a lot of difficult feelings of your own, if you stay calm, it can help you stop anger escalating. Try to listen to them. If you can, allow them time to communicate their feelings without judging them. Often, when someone feels that they're being listened to, they're more able to hear what the other people's points of view are as well. And sometimes just being given a permission to communicate angry feelings can can be enough to help someone calm down. Give them space. If you notice that continuing a conversation is making it worse, give them space to calm down and think. This could be something like going into another room for a while or spending a few days apart. It's important to give yourself space as well, so you don't find yourself getting too angry. Um, Sometimes we can have disagreements with friends, loved ones, co-workers, and what have you. And both parties can be very stubborn and pig-headed. Sometimes the best thing to do is not to say anything to that person for a certain length of time to allow them to calm down. And then, hopefully, by then, cooler heads have prevailed. And then you can have a discussion and you can determine what is it that's causing um, anger in the other person. Set boundaries. While there's a lots of reasons why this can be difficult, it's important to set limits and boundaries. Be clear in advance what sort of behavior is and isn't acceptable to you, and think about what actions you can take if someone crosses the line. You don't have to put up with any behavior that makes you feel unsafe or seriously affects your own well being. Help them identify their triggers. This is something you can try when you're both feeling calm and, and away from any heated situation. Identifying someone's triggers for anger can help you both think about ways you can avoid triggering situations and plan how to handle them and how to communicate when they do arise. But try not to be judgmental or accusatory. But it can be useful to give specific examples when you remember them getting angry. Be aware this is probably upsetting to them to think about it as well. Okay. Support them to seek professional help. For example, you can help them arrange to see GP, I don't know what GP is, or research anger management courses. Okay. In other words, counseling. I think that's what it's called. Look after your own well being. It can be difficult at times to support someone else. So make sure you're looking after your own well being. Okay. The worst thing is to tell people to calm down or say whatever caused my anger doesn't matter. People listening, accepting my feelings, even if my anger saying I'm president helps the most. So now we're going to be dealing with what if the behavior is abusive or violent. Just because someone seems angry, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will become violent or abusive. But if it does happen, the most important thing to make sure that you are safe. Don't confront someone who's behaving aggressively. If you want to talk to them, wait until the situation has calmed down. You might want to make a safety plan. This might include making a list of phone numbers of people, organization, and service you can call if you are scared. Arranging to stay at a friend's or a neighbor's house until things calm down. Make sure you take any children or other people at risk with you, having a bag prepared to leave in an emergency. Refuge runs safe houses for women and children escaping domestic abuse. You can contact them to find a place of refuge. The National Domestic Abuse Hotline is available 24 hours a day on, okay, I don't know, I think this is a UK telephone number, so it's not really going to help. Okay. Of course, you can also call the police. Let me just give you my take in all this. It's another rehashing, but basically is making sure that you don't take it personally. Number one. Number two, you do what you can to de-escalate the situation. Because two hotheads is not going to resolve an issue. Two hotheads it's a combination to make a bad situation worse. If you feel that you're losing control yourself, the best thing to do is not to confront the person, to step away and try to calm down so you can have a calm conversation with the individual. Okay. Also, okay. Also, it helps when you take accountability for your own actions. Okay. So I've been talking for almost an hour. Okay. So again, if anyone wishes to join the panel, they can do so. If anyone wishes to add any further comments, they can do so as well. If no one else wishes to enter a comment, or no one else wishes to enter the panel, what I will do is I will stop to wrap this up. Perhaps other people will watch this on the playback. Unfortunately, someone else has a stream, so it makes it kind of difficult when other people are watching other YouTube creators. That's just the reality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to wrap this up. As I stated before, tomorrow I'm going to go live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the topic will be open discussion. So I'm just going to be talking about one of the things that needs discussion. Of course, if anyone wishes to share a topic for us to discuss, we will do so. Okay. And just as a reminder, I will be doing a stream on Sunday, 7 o'clock, completely in Spanish. So that being said, I do appreciate the fact that Magic Mulala entered a comment in the chat, and there are nights where it's going to be light as far as traffic is concerned, which is okay. Now, I do appreciate, again, all those who have subscribed to my channel and follow me on social media. So that being said, I'm just going to close the same way that I always close. Let us be good to one another and each other. And that being said, excuse me, just give me a moment. Okay. Oops, sorry. So that being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I wish all of you good night, take care, and peace.
Be strong.